All right, welcome everybody. It is about 10 minutes to 8 here on Thursday evening, February 2nd, Groundhog Day 2023. Punxsutawney Phil up there in Western Pennsylvania saw his shadow, which means 6 more weeks of winter. And if you're like me or my colleague Josh Nagelberg, we don't put any salt or cinders or whatever that stuff is they put on the roads into that forecast. Actually, we take it with a ton of salt or a ton of sand, depending if you're at the beach. So 6 more weeks of winter, according to a rodent groundhog. Now, of course, it's like it could go either way. I mean, we might torch the rest of the winter. We might get like a March blizzard, which is not uncommon. Winter is over at the 20th of March. So, I mean, anything can happen between now and then. We still have over another month. We have a month and 18 days to be exact. And we got Valentine's Day, too. Although Valentine's Day is looking warm, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Such a lovely evening out there tonight, especially across Charlotte, which is where I am. I'm right there in Fort Mill, just north of Rock Hill on I-77. I went to grab my DoorDash order outside my door, and just the raw, cold air in my breezeway outside my front door just like made me just grab my food and go right back inside. Not that I don't do that anyway, usually, but today it was extra quick because it's just raw out there. Not a great night for a walk, but a good one if you're needing to walk. So let's just leave it like right there, right, just like that. So this cold rain is going to continue through much of tonight. It's miserable out there. It's going to be really something else as far as being outside. It's just not a good night. It's a good night to curl up by a fire, have a fire in the fireplace. Could be some flakes on the backside of this system as it moves out early tomorrow morning. So we will have to watch that and see how it goes. And yes, we have put an article out there with a graphic saying that there's between a 4 and 16% chance of somebody in this blue area here seeing flakes. Lumberton, really out there in the sticks along the South Carolina, North Carolina line. Somebody in Myrtle Beach might be lucky enough to wake up at 4 a.m. and look outside and see some flakes flying past the lights outside. This is going to be one of those situations where you have to look at a street lamp or a floodlight outdoors and see if you can see the actual flakes falling from the sky and not confuse it with rain. So, I mean, at 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m., my eyes are not that wide open yet to be able to see that, but looks like somebody in Wilmington might be able to see something. Maybe Jacksonville. We'll just have to wait and see. Again, it's only going to be momentary, just enough to say, oh my goodness, I saw some flakes this morning. Did you see that too? No, I was asleep. So it's not going to accumulate or anything like that. Even if it does, it won't, it's not going to accumulate. Don't worry about that. So now let's get into the models. This is the high resolution NAM, which is good for the short range. And according to this model right here, yes, it's raining like I showed you earlier. It's going to continue into tonight. All this rain will flush out of the area probably most likely by tomorrow morning at some point, maybe late tomorrow morning. And flakes could mix in at some point between maybe 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. here in this area that we had outlined in our article previous. So that would be exciting if anybody is awake at that hour and wants to see a few flakes. It's really only like a 12% chance, meaning that there's a 88% chance that it's not going to, and it's just going to be rainy. But it's not zero, so we had to mention it. Again, all this rain flushes out pretty much by late morning Friday. It's going to be colder. Right there is the 540 line. This is the cold enough to snow thickness line. This is a meteorological parameter right here, which indicates that the atmospheric profile is good enough for snow. And this is just telling us that it's going to be cold. It's going to get colder tomorrow morning, colder than it is right now. Look at that line, how it kind of moves into South Carolina right there. It actually comes further south over me, almost to like Chester, South Carolina right there. So, and then it's going to be cold and windy as we go into the day on Friday. And the same thing on Saturday, although the wind is probably going to relax a little bit. The cold and the wind is going to be more of a factor on Friday. But hey, at least the sun will be out. and we won't have all this dreary rain. But again, it will be cold and windy, so it'll feel like a February day across the Carolinas as Friday progresses, and happy end of the week. And then Saturday, we're gonna wake up. It's gonna be chilly out there. It's gonna be cold, so it'll feel like seasonable winter. And as high pressure is in control, you can see the big H, the big blue H right there, which is a cold high, and that's typically what they are in the wintertime, at the surface anyway. And then it looks like as Saturday progresses, the sun is just going to be really strong. And the sun actually is going to be getting stronger this time of year. The sun angle actually is more of, let's see, what is this, February? So it's more of like a October sun angle, I think, right now. Maybe November. It's sometime in the fall. So the sun is going to be strong enough to actually warm up the air and the ground, and then eventually the air here across the Carolinas. So Saturday is going to get a little bit warmer, and that's going to be the trend as we head into Sunday. In fact, like it's just gonna warm right up again. The Northeast is going to be really bone chilling cold with a huge Arctic high up their way. And it's going to spill down into our area here from Saturday morning, and that's really it. So again, the cold up there is only going to be like 2 days for them, and like maybe only one morning for us. We'll feel it Saturday morning, but we won't feel it in an extreme sense. It'll just be like a temporary shot. Let's get into the longer range and actually see what we're going to have as far as temperatures overall through the month for the remainder, or at least into mid-February or so. So here we go in the Sunday. Looks like another upper ridge is going to start taking shape here. This is at 18,000 feet in the atmosphere at the 500 millibar level, which is about halfway up as far as weather things go in the atmosphere. And maybe a little bit more than halfway up, it starts to show parts of the jet stream. So look at this transient pattern in the overall like upper air pressure patterns. Yes, the wind can be seeing the flow parallel to these contours right here. So this is like a jet stream that's more at the bottom level of it, but we can see the overall pressure tendencies of systems coming through in the upper atmosphere. There comes an upper level low into the west coast of the United States. That's this right here. More ridging here across the Midwest. It looks like some transient stuff going on as we go into Monday. But don't fear. A huge upper level ridge is going to take shape over the whole East Coast. Warmer than average temperatures with this ridge all the way up through here as we begin next week, which is February 6th and the 7th. So any chance of flakes that you get tomorrow morning, folks, if you're a big snow nerd and you don't have to work, or you just want to get up and have coffee just in case you see some flakes, go for it, because that's going to be the last chance for the foreseeable future. Here comes a little like upper level low that was part of that system before, that breaks off and it kind of goes into Texas. Look at the New England ridge right over here, though. New York Central Park, they set a record for the latest snow ever in the season, and this is why. It's just been persistent, like cold or just warm temperatures all the way up through there through much of the year. Now here comes something interesting on the 11th or so and the 12th. However, without this being a very deep system, it looks to us like it's most likely going to be just a rainstorm for now. Here on the Euro, this is the Euro ensemble, by the way, what we're looking at, the ensemble mean. So, all this high pressure up in here is going to be warm air. It's going to probably cut off any type of real cold air supply to this system here in the southeast. It's most likely going to be rain by the looks of this, and this is going to be on the 12th or so. Then that system moves away, and again, another ridge. So what happens is it looks like the pattern is going to be some kind of rain here across the southeast and some kind of storm, and then it's going to be followed by a high pressure and then upper ridging, which raises the temperatures. It stays that way for a while. Then another rainstorm comes along, and then it goes right back into the ridge again. It goes right back into warm. And honestly, that's been the pattern this winter for the most part. The only real cold that we got was around Christmas. It was only for 2 days. The whole country almost experienced that cold wave around Christmas, except for maybe California and Arizona. But like it was crazy. But nothing has really happened since then. And big surprise, we go into Valentine's Day with red for love, because we all want to be loved, and the atmosphere wants us to be loved too. It's going to keep us warm on Valentine's Day this year. That's what's going to happen here as we head into February 14th and the 15th. So it's not looking favorable at all here for any type of winter storms here in the Carolinas or the Southeast, which is hard to get as we go, as things go normally. But right now, all the way into the 17th or so, mid-month, 15th, 16th, 17th, it is not looking favorable at all for any type of wintry precip there. Carolina Weather Authority, please be sure to hit that subscribe button. Like this video if you liked it, and feel free to comment below. But we just ask that you please take the time to log into your YouTube account and subscribe if you're not logged in already. And we really highly appreciate that. Please share this YouTube video link with your family and friends so that they may also go and subscribe. And we thank you so much for watching this video and trying to find out what it's going to do here through the middle of the month. I enjoy watching myself on here too, because sometimes I have to go back and say, I wonder what it's going to be like outside, into the future. And then I have to go listen to myself, because I don't consciously listen when I'm giving these videos. Strange, I know. Everybody have a good one. Stay warm this weekend, but just like, for like a day or so. Carolina Weather Authority, I'll sign off, and I'll see you later.